Welcome back to the shop. I hope everyone's doing well out there. This is the 1970 Nova September update. I believe that the last update I did was sometime in July. It was where Philip and I actually took the car out for a ride for like the very first time. Since then we've had several issues that we had to iron out, still working on tuning. But anyway, I have a whole bunch of additions, modifications to the car that I'd like to share with you today. The car's coming along pretty well. Like I said, I have some transmission tuning issues. I have some Holley Sniper tuning issues. The car's not running very well, but it is running. I can make it around the block, do a little tune. But anyway, I'll get into all of that later in a later video. It's pretty complicated, but I'm learning, and the car's coming around. So anyway, without flapping this jaw anymore, let's get to the car and see what I got going on, man. One of the biggest visual updates is this 4-inch cowl induction hood. This is an OER. It stands for Original Equipment Remanufacture. They make aftermarket car parts just like AMD does. Anyway, I got this from Summit Racing. It came with dents included, and when I go handheld, I'll show you all that. But anyway, it's a nice hood. I could not reuse the factory hood. I did not want to cut the factory hood. So I bought an aftermarket hood that somewhat fits the car. We'll deal with all this paint and body stuff down the road. And then I also wanted to mention too, everyone asked me, hey, when are you painting this car? To be quite honest, I pretty much spent my whole budget building the car. The car's pretty darn straight. The paint's okay. You know, it's original Astro Blue. So it's gonna be a good year before any paint and body work gets done to this car. So until then, let's just enjoy all of my fruits of my labor and hard work with the engine and driveline. So here we go. Okay, I'd like to start with the Matson radiator upgrade. So as many of you may remember, I had this Matson single core radiator custom built for the car. Because of clearance issues, I couldn't go with a real thick core, so I had to go with a single core with 1.5 inch cooling tubes. So it just wasn't cool in the car. So a big shout out to Jack Matson Jr. For taking this radiator back and building this amazingly beautiful shroud. So now I got a shroud on here. They are two small 12-inch fans. They each pull about 1226 CFM. So now the car is cooling a little bit better. I also got rid of that big black ugly puke tank that was sitting right there. I now have this Billet Specialties puke tank. I custom made the overflow lines here coming off the radiator, going to the puke tank. So there's an upgrade there. Sure looks good under the hood. I got my air conditioner charged. A buddy of mine came over, brought his Snap-on AC charge station, and I'll tell you what, man, the cold air, it kicks butt in this car. It's nice and cold. And I made these billet caps to hide the red and blue caps. So there's an upgrade right there. What else did I do to the engine compartment? I think that's about it for under the hood. Everything else is about the same as you saw it last. So let's move. Oh, okay, while we're here, I did install the window trim on the front and back window. That's all installed there. All right, let's step in. Oh, while I'm here too, I'm sorry. Here is the custom dented hood from OER. You can see here. And it also is dented on the corner of the cowl. There's a dent on the top that's hard to see, but I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up. But anyway, two custom dents that'll have to be worked out with the paint and body work. Anyway, okay, let's move to inside the car. Okay, so inside the car, I built this little mount. This is my transmission controller,
It's got a heads-up display, shows what gear you're in, transmission temperature, and your mile per hour. I also mounted on the front of my shifter the Holley Sniper heads-up display. This thing is got a wealth of information and tuning capabilities. I have it on an aluminum plate with Velcro, so I could pull these on and off as needed. So they're the two additions on the inside of the car. Dash all the same. Nothing changed here. Everything still working pretty well. Don't know if I explained this, but this light here is when my fans, my cooling fans for the radiator come on, this light goes out. This is manual shift mode, and this is my line lock. So when my line locks on, that light lights, and then when I go into manual shift mode, the green light lights, and that's where you have to manually shift the car. Moving to the back of the car, the Derale transmission cooler. That's a remote cooler, and below that cooler I got a big hole cut in the bottom. So what it does is it runs hot transmission fluid through this cooler, blows the heat out of the car, and I can leave this flap open for additional airflow if I need it. And I also built these little vents for where the trunk drains were. I removed those, and I built them little grates just for airflow. And then again, there's my trunk mounted battery. And when this fan comes on, I have an indicator light on the back deck, and it's a red light that comes on, so I know when that fan's running. Like I mentioned, I installed the window trim, front and back. Gives a little better finished look. A big giant shout out to my buddy Greg. Him and I built this full custom 3-inch stainless steel exhaust. I got V-bag connectors on right here on the header collector, 3-inch stainless to X pipe here, X pipe out to 2 Flowmaster Super 44 mufflers, and then I have it just turned out exactly where I wanted them. And this is exactly the exhaust that I wanted. It turned out beautiful, and wait till you hear it. Look at that. Beautiful. I am very happy with Greg's work. The TIG welds are immaculate. The car actually started to run better after we did this. So I'm very happy with the new exhaust. Right here, these are the transmission cooling lines. Hot from the hot to the cooler, cold back to the transmission. So I got bulkhead fittings, and then I have NICOP vent fittings to -6 AN, not sure if you can see it, to the transmission. I believe that is, okay, before anyone says anything, somebody already pointed this out in a picture I posted. Yes, that is my fuel filter. Okay, I got a good 6-8 inches between this turnout and that fuel filter. I will put a metal heat shield at some point, but so far it has not been a problem. Even with the car running and idling, I can put my hand right here and it's not even warm. Okay, so I had to point that out because you guys are pretty sharp when you catch things. So far the quick performance 9 inches functioning flawlessly with my helical locker. Philip and I adjusted the 4-link 2 or 3 times. The car, when I nail it, goes straight. So that's a good thing. So anyway, no other additions to the back of the car that I can think of. I had to replace a taillight socket because that light was flickering, so that's fixed. So anyway, let's move to the exciting part and fire this thing up so you guys can hear this new exhaust system. Before I drop the car all the way down, I wanted to show you that I added a front spoiler. This is actually for a 1969 Camaro. I fabricated it to fit my car, and this is to increase airflow into the radiator. I'm not sure if it's making a difference yet, but hey man, every little bit helps. With cooling, that is.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that update as much as I did. Guys, it's been a year and a half since this car was bone stock and it rolled into this shop. And a year and a half later, brand new driveline, suspension, engine, just on and on and on. And I'd like to thank all of you for taking the trip along the way with me. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy working on the car. And I hope you guys enjoy seeing the progress that's going, to the car. So there'll be more to come. Be patient. I'm pretty busy. I got a side job. It's been hot as hell here, which is no excuse, but I do have, I bought myself a swamp cooler. I got a little Hessair swamp cooler that's made life in here a little more livable. It helps tremendously. I think we had a stretch of over 100 days for 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, typical summer here in the Central Valley. But anyway, I'd like to thank you again for coming along. I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that jumped on board here recently, and keep those comments, positive comments especially, and those big thumbs up coming, man. I really do appreciate it. So until next time, see ya.